Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. We are reading the international bestseller book, The 48 Laws of Power. Today we will read about the law number 4, that is always say less than necessary. When you are trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear and less in control. Even if you are saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague, open ended, and Sphinx like. Powerful people impressed and intimidated by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Power is in many ways a game of appearances, and when you say less than necessary, you inevitably appear greater and more powerful than you are. Your silence will make other people uncomfortable. Humans are machine of interpretation and explanation. They have to know what you are thinking. When you are carefully control what you reveal, they cannot they they cannot pierce your intentions or your meaning. Your short answer and silences will put them on defensive, and they will jump in nervously, filling the silence with all kind of comments that will reveal valuable information about them and their weaknesses. They will leave a meeting with you feeling as if they had been robbed, and they will go home and ponder your every word. This extra attention to your brief comments will only add to your power. As a young man, the artist Andy Warhol had revelation that is that is was generally impossible to get people to do what you wanted them to do by talking to them. They would turn against you, subvert your wishes, disobey you out of sheer perversity. He once told a friend, I learned that you actually have more power when you shut up. In his later life, Warhol employed this strategy with great success. His interviews were exercises in oracular speech. He would say something vague and ambiguous, and the interviewer would twist in circle trying to figure it out, imagining there was something profound behind his often meaningless phrases. Warhol rarely talked about his work. He let others do interpreting. The less he said about his work, the more people talked about it, and the more they talked, the more valuable his work became. By saying less than necessary, you create the appearance of meaning and power. Also, the less you say, the less risk you run of saying something foolish, even dangerous. In 1825, a new Caesar Nicholas I ascended the throne of Russia. A rebellion immediately broke out, led by liberals demanding that the country modernize, that its industries and civil structures catch up with the rest of Europe, brutally crushing this rebellion. The Decembrist uprising, Nicholas I sentenced one of its leaders, Co- Conradi Relief, to death. One day, the execution relief stood on gallows, the noose around his neck. The trapdoor opened, but as Relief dangled, the rope broke, dashing him to the ground. At the time, events like this were considered sign of providence or heavenly will, and a man saved from execution this way was usually pardoned. As Ryleyev got his neck had been saved, he called out to the crowd, you see, in Russia they don't know how to do anything properly, not even how to make rope. A messenger immediately went to the Palace with news of failed hanging. Vexed by this disappointing turn about Nicholas, I never nevertheless began to sign the pardon. But then did Riley say anything after miracle? The Caesar asked the messenger. Shire, the messenger replied. He said that Russia, they don't even know how to make rope. In case, said the Tsar, let us prove the country, and he tore up the pardon. The next day, Riley was hanged again. This time, the rope did not break. Learn the lesson. Once the words are out, you cannot take them back. Keep them under control. Be particularly careful with sarcasm. The momentary satisfaction you gain with your biting words will be outweighed by the price you pay. The law number 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation unnecessary and always be alert to potential attacks and thwart them before they happen. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their own reputation, then stand aside and let public opinion hang them. The people around us, even our closest friends, will always to some extent remain mysterious and unfathomable. Their characters have secret recesses they never reveal. They never reveal the un- the un- the unknowableness of other people could prove disturbing if we thought about it long enough, since it would make it impossible for us really to judge other people. So we prefer to ignore this fact and to judge people on their appearances, on what is most visible to our eyes: clothes, gesture, words, actions. In the social realm, appearances are the barometer of almost all of our judgments, and you must never be misled into believing otherwise. One false slip, one awkward or sudden change in your appearance can prove distresses. This is the reason for the supreme importance of making and maintaining a reputation that is of our creation. The reputation will protect you in the dangerous game of appearances, distracting the probing eyes of others from knowing what you are really like, and giving you a degree of control over how the world judges you, a powerful position to be in. In the beginning, you must work to establish a reputation for one outstanding quality, whether it's generosity or honesty or cunning. This quality sets you apart and gets other people to talk about you. You then make your reputation known to as many people as possible. Subtly, to take are to build slowly with a firm foundation and watch as it spreads like wildfire. A solid reputation increases your presence, exaggerate your strengths without your having to spend much energy. It can also create an aura around you that will instill respect, even fear. In the fighting in the north of African desert during the World War II, the German general Erwin Rommel had a reputation for cunning and for a deceptive maneuvering. that struck terror into everyone who faced him, even even when its forces were depleted and when British tanks outnumbered his by 5 to 1, entire cities would be evacuated at the news of his approach. Make your reputation simple and base it on one sterling quality. The single quality efficiency, say seductiveness, become a kind of calling and card that announces your presence and places other under a spell. Reputation is a treasure to be carefully collected and hoarded, especially when you are first establishing it. You must protect it strictly, anticipating all attacks on it. Once it is solid, do not let yourself get angry or defensive at the slanderous comments of your enemies. That reveals insecurity, not confidence in your reputation. Take the high road instead and never appear desperate in your self defense. On the other hand, an attack on another man's reputation is a potent weapon, particularly when you have less power than he does. He has much more to lose in such a battle, and your own thus far small reputation give him small target when he tries to return your fire. But this tactic must be practiced with skill. You must not seem to engage in petty vengeance. If you do not break your enemy reputation cleverly, you will inadvertently ruin your own. Never go too far in your attacks, for that will draw more attention to your own. Vengefulness, that to the person you are slandering. When your own reputation is solid, use subtler tactics such as satire and ridicule to weaken your opponent while making you out as charming rogue. The mighty lion toys with the mouse, he crosses his path, any other reaction would mar his fearsome reputation.